Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Road Race out on Zwift. Riders are just getting going right now, about to take off from the pens, about 148, 147 left on the countdown from the pens right now. It looks like we've got about 27 riders lined up. We can start going through. It's probably going to increase actually all the way up to probably somewhere around 30 to 40 riders by the time that they all log in. They're all probably getting their notifications right about now for the race. We will be doing the half Pretzel course, and it is going to probably be Gruppo Compacto for the beginning of the race, as riders will be trying to reserve as much as they possibly can for the energy that they will have to get up that mountain. They will be going to the mountain, climbing all the way to the top for the epic KOM, and then heading toward the tower, which has up to a 17% gradient, I believe it is. So it is an extremely difficult course today, and it is essentially a mano-a-mano, man-on-man, woman versus woman, all-out effort to the top of the climb, and then from there, can you hang on to the pack that you are with on the way down? If you're unfamiliar with Zwift racing, what you're about to watch is individuals from all over the world, international field of racers, getting ready to race right now from their homes or from wherever their bikes are set up right now, communicating real power from their bikes into this massive multiplayer online game called Zwift. 26 seconds, it looks like, to the start of the A race. We do have social media integration right now, so if you want to interact with us, make sure to at Z Community Live in order to get pictures, comments, or anything featured in the live broadcast here. You want some answers, you want some questions answered, things like that. Make sure that's probably the best way to get our attention in order to follow any kind of comments you want to bring along. I can see some of the chat over at Facebook and some other places. It's a lot easier to bring through the Twitter, just so you guys know, though. All right, so it looks like the A's have gotten out on course. And we do have right off the bat here Mr. Quentin LaFay, who is actually one of the riders at the CVR World Cup recently in Las Vegas. Right off the front here, followed immediately by Ian Appleby here, and then Musgrove there coming out of the UK following the attack from Vision Cycling. So I was completely incorrect there. Obviously not part of the director sportif from the team there, as Vision Cycling right from the get-go, not playing Gruppo Compacto, not looking to be very calm from the get-go, and looking to break things apart immediately. Quentin, though, maybe just trying to find a wheel after that initial kick, as we see him at the back of the pack here at 4.7 watts per kilogram. The Frenchman here now following up the Melting Tallow, the Melting Man, as we like to call him here, coming from the KRT team, the KISS Racing team, actually the organization that puts on this race that you're watching right now, the KISS Zwift races. And they actually have their own team in game as well. As you can see there, the kit that they are riding in here. The Melting Man has made this lead group immediately from the gun. We will have the B, C, and D races covered. We'll have feeds coming from the A's and the B's, and then we will follow up with the C's and the D's after the riders from the A's and the B's begin to finish, and we can exit the event module. If you don't know what the event module is, maybe I should go over that for just a couple of seconds here as we watch the lead group get formed here. It looks like about 20 riders on the front. I believe we will have results that we can bring in from ZwiftPower.com to see who has all made the front group here. It does look like we have Musgrove, Pietrzinski is in there, Appleby, Hazelstead, McQuaid, Whitley, Gunther, Berlin, and Mitchell from the BRT. That was the top 10 through the last checkpoint. So as they make their way up the mountain and the watchers watch where they come through that have been put out on course by the awesome guys over at ZwiftPower.com, we'll be able to get live results from the A's, the B's, the C, and the D categories. The B racers will be taking off in about 35 seconds from their event module. So let's talk about what is this event module thing. If you jump into the world of Zwift, and you connect all your devices, right? There's this front screen you come into that has, 5 different quadrants that all say, okay, what have you connected to this game through an ANT plus signal or a Bluetooth signal, depending on what kind of device that you're on. And then after that screen, though, on the right-hand side, on the right in front of you, you'll see all the people that are riders that are out on course or friends that you have followed that are at the top. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see all the events. And the KISS event is an event that you can jump into different times of the day. You can also find these events on Zwift.com/events, and all the times that they do take off, they're also in the Zwift app. So, and you can sign up to them through the Zwift app that you can download on your mobile device, or you can also sign up in game on that screen that I was just talking about on the login on the right-hand side. Once you get into the event, you'll line up at the piers on Watopia and take off from the piers all together. It's a way to control the start so that people all start together as a part of a group ride, a race, or some sort of a training ride, whatever it might be. So that is what's up with the event module. The A's that we see at the front here that we are seeing, everybody on the right-hand side of the course here, as you can see, Mosgrove, Hazelstead, McCown, Appleby, Rogers, all these guys here, they all have KISS and A in their name. That essentially means that they are racing in the KISS race. That's why they put KISS in their name, and they're in the A category, assuming that they can hold 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for their functional threshold power, the power that they can hold for 1 hour straight. And so Hazelstead here now as an A rider coming out of Norway is leading things out as they head toward the mountain route. They just took the left-hand turn on Ocean Boulevard toward the mountain course where they are going to really break things apart. It's pretty chill at this point. Well, at the front 4.0 or so, but definitely no serious attacks into the 8-9 watts per kilogram yet. And I have a feeling we're not going to see much of that actually until they get up toward the top, because I think people are going to be trying to reserve as much of their energy as they possibly can. The B riders have taken off, it looks like. We've got up at the front, it looks like a man coming out of New Zealand here in the B category race. It looks like M. Perry actually coming out of New Zealand as we jump into the B category. We'll leave the A's for just a moment and see what's happening with these B category riders. BJ Alfonso was the first one across the checkpoint, it looks like, with T. Jackman. Dolmans, Glenn Jason is in there as well. Somebody watch out for maybe a solid result today. Jackman is there. It looks like Fagerland Wisselsberger as well. Always one to watch out for a podium finish within the B category. We also have Kate Olegard here coming out of Denmark as well. So definitely a rider to be watching out for. I think Olegard out of Denmark for a solid result in the top 5 to 10. These boys are going to be heading through Ocean Boulevard right now, as you can see. And as they take this section of the course, they'll be looking for that left-hand turn by what the communities call a Jarvis tree, as it looks so much like the beta Jarvis tree that was out on that beta course. Some of you guys who haven't been around for a while will be like, what are you talking about? The Jarvis Island was the original beta island that we all got into in Zwift. And the tree, it looks like, has been transplanted over to Ocean Boulevard, actually. All right, the boys over in the A race are just starting to make their way up the climb. So let's go ahead and see how things are turning out up there. We are looking at P. Whiteley from the BRT team, it looks like here, kicking up into 6.3 watts per kilogram, followed by Ploesmers here out of the Netherlands. Joachim Ploesmers, definitely, when it comes to a climbing course from Team Experimental, this is a boy to watch out for. He's got some serious climbing legs. Definitely one of the lighter riders out on course here. Quentin LaFay is going to try and follow very closely here with A. Sherritt then at 5.5 watts per kilogram. This 6.7% gradient, this first little kick on the mountain ride. If you've ever done an epic KOM, you can go ahead and head on over there, and you can see the leaderboards are all the leaderboards are all on the left-hand side of the screen. When you're out there solo or as a part of an event, you can see what the current fast time is, and you can go ahead and challenge yourself out on course to try and hit the times that these boys are going to be trying to hit right now. I'm thinking these guys are going to sit somewhere around with the draft and them all working together. They're probably going to be hitting somewhere around an 18 to 19 minute climb up and over the top of the mountain epic KOM right now. But we do have Strzinski here up at the front here, coming from Team Poland here in that Gamba kit that they're currently using with the red and the white there, 6.5 watts per kilogram. This is the first separator though, 7% gradient. This is where a lot of times people go a little bit too hard up the upper KOM from the get-go and then end up falling off pace after they flatten out or hit that second incline that gets pretty intense actually once you hit the old Italian village that we like to call it up on the mountain. This is a shot of where they are climbing through right now. It does level out a little bit as they go over the bridge here, and this cool suspension bridge that Zwift has put in here. We do have, it looks like, a 2.9% gradient and a group that has formed up at the front here. Quentin LaFay trying to grab onto a few wheels. Looks like Joachim following very closely there. Pete Whiteley just following the wheels at 160 beats per minute. M. Burton is there as well. It looks like Burton, though, 3 seconds back from the TFC. He's going to have to do everything he can to grab a wheel right now at 185 beats per minute. It's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for him to hang on at this point, as these boys up at the front are just setting a very high threshold pace right now. No serious attacks or anything, but they're just going to set it at what they know they can hold for right around 20 minutes, because it's about a 20 or a little less than 20-minute climb, and they're going to see who can hang on to that pace. We might see a couple of attacks, though, as it gets a little steeper up and over the top of the mountain in just a few minutes here. Let's go ahead and move our way backwards just a little bit, though, and see what's happening with the chase group. We do have Stephen Fleetwood here. 4.5 watts per kilogram, setting it at what he knows that he can hold. Let those faster boys go up front, and let's hold the pace that we know we can work together with. Him and Ian Appleby from Vision Cycling, it looks like here in the kit there. It looks like they've got a couple different team bikes, though. Today, looks like Ian's going to go with the Cervelo S5 and then the Tron bike for Fleetwood. Maybe Appleby has a little bit more work to do to grab that Tron bike, as it takes a whole lot of climbing to make that happen. All right, looks like the Bees have started their climb, though, so let's go ahead and head back on over to their race, as they are just starting the super intense section of the course for them. Here we do have B. Roden here leading things out, 4.2 watts per kilogram, with Lund followed by Fagerlund, and then Termont out of Belgium. Always one of the stronger riders to be watching out for out on course here. Takes podiums left and right. Part of that BRT team, the Bolt Racing team here. Dixon here now on the Go-Go Power Rangers, found very closely to be determined team MV out of the US of A. Jay Bergenski with Theron out of France. Lund there, 5.1 watts per kilogram. So this is your lead group forming now. Glenn Jason from Vision Cycling going to have to hold on to Lowen and Doman from the BRT team's wheel here if they're not going to be dropped off. Look at that, 45 RPMs right now. Definitely struggling against that smart trainers. We do see a couple of other riders here trying to get up toward the front here. We do have Kay Olegard here. It looks like he's riding on a Neo, so he's definitely feeling it as well, but spinning it to win right now as he's hanging on with Galito and Jay Rich from the KISS Racing team here. D. Phillips just a little ways back. Wisselsberger and BJ Alfonso. Look at this line of riders, though, as they make their way over the climb. It is definitely all strung out at this point. And as we're looking, BJ Alfonso here trying to get back up toward the front as the riders are starting to go away from him. It is a 3-second, now up to 6-second gap that has been opened up between Fagerlund and the back of that main chasing group of riders here. Olegard with Jay Rich, Roden, and quite a few others. But are they going to be able to get back on terms with these lead three as Lund, Termont, and it looks like Fagerlund and Ox are starting to get away from these boys? And in this B category, the assumption is going to be about 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. As they make their way over the suspension bridge, they're most likely going to drop down a little bit, but it looks like OX coming out of the UK is gaining about a 1-second gap right now over these boys here. So OX here, 4.6 watts per kilogram, 171 beats per minute. Not super familiar with this rider. We'll have to wait and see if we can get some stats on him, but he's starting to walk away from the rest of the group here. As we look over his shoulder, we can see the gap forming. Lund, Termont, Fagerlund in this B category race. Dixon now sees the threat, makes his way to the front here on the Go-Go Power Rangers. I believe in the A and B categories, Z Power Riders unable to take the W, but definitely going to be a part of the race here today as he makes his way up to the front. Lund now with an attack at 8 watts per kilogram makes his way to that group as he knows it's going off the front now at this point. So it looks like we do have some deciding moments in the B categories. Bragensky, Erlegard, Jason, Doman, Lowend, as well as Thuron, all trying to make a chase. This is going to be your second chase group as Bragensky is in no man's land here as a solo chaser out on course. Dixon Lund, Termont now 2 seconds off the back. He's going to have to close that down now, or maybe just let those boys go and assume that they're going to be over category limits and perhaps get the win by some sort of an upgrade. We'll have to see. And so it looks like up toward the front in the A race, though, we do have a couple of attacks taking place right now, as we've got Mosgrov with Szerzynski now at the front of this race as they're just heading through the old village and looking from the top-down shot. Actually, let's go ahead and look at the panning. And we've got Mosgrove leading it out on the Go-Go Power Rangers, 5.7 or so here. But we got Halstead, Szerzynski, Sherritt, Plujmers, McQuaid, Melting Man, 10 seconds off the back now. It's not quite as disruptive with the Z-Power. Plus, he's got 172 beats per minute, so at least you know that he's working fairly hard up at the front here. But Szerzynski, 6.2 watts per kilogram. The draft isn't too serious on a 5% gradient, so these boys all have to put out a pretty serious effort still to hang with this, so they're not just getting dragged away from these boys behind here. But Melty Man with Jay LeClock, Burton here, these three trying to make the chase here. This is the main chase group at this point. Up toward the front, though, it is a main group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders with McQuaid at the back here coming out of the US of A in that court kit. A Sherritt from the BRT team. Plujmers has made it as well, coming out of the Netherlands here. Hasselstead out of Norway, followed closely by Szerzynski and Mosgrove here. Mosgrove, though, continues at the front here. And they may just let that boy go was to see if they keep on following it up. At a certain point, if you just let them go, then they no longer disrupt things at the front of those races. But it's really hard to do so, and sometimes you just want to see if you can match it. And that's what it's all about, boys and girls, is getting that crazy, amazing workout, especially on this course, as the motivation is still there to follow wheels, as the drafting doesn't matter quite as much, and to try and make breaks, as you will not be pulled in as easily on a course that is mainly uphill. Whiteley here with Quentin LaFay now, the second chase group out on course. Vision Cycling and BRT here making their way to the top with PKS out of Spain here, followed by Fleetwood. Looks like Appleby unable to hang on to Fleetwood's wheel as he gets dropped off by 11 seconds, and P going to have to try and hold off P. Roper. But Roper coming up like a madman here on that watt bike here at 4.5, 5.2 watts per kilogram, only 1 second back out of Australia here with Berlin here as well. The German rider, Steady Eddie, it looks like here, not quite as many fluctuations in the power there coming from him, 175 beats per minute as he's keeping it fairly steady, trying to keep Roper within sight. But Roper going right on by Appleby here, and he's on the hunt, it looks like, to try and bring some of these front A runners back into the fold. Up toward the front now, Mosgrove, it looks like, and the rest have dropped off Sherritt as he was trying to hang on, but it was GG up and over the top of the 6 to 7% grain as they hit that castle there. So it is going to be McQuaid, Halselstead. Plujmer's now seeing the attack from Szerzynski and goes right along with them as Szerzynski here, 5.6 watts per kilogram, and Joachim Plujmer's here, the climber, one of the favorites most likely to take it today, having to kick it up into that 175 beats per minute to try and grab on the wheels, but now dropping back to 2.7. I think it's still 1 second out. I'm not sure he's going to catch back up to him as Szerzynski follows Mosgrove's wheel and hangs on to the Go-Go Power Ranger, though that might actually end up with a relegation, though, because of that. We'll have to see if that takes place. The KISS races, though, we can go ahead and look through the race information here really quickly and see what they have to say about all of that. If you ever want to check out all the race information on the events, as they're community organized events, you can usually find it on ZwiftPower.com. You head on over to ZwiftPower.com, look for the race in the list of races or rides, and you click on the link to it, and there's a little race information drop down menu, and you can see all the information on that race and what the requirements are, what you need to do to get involved in the race, what kind of tags you need to put in your names and things like that. So head on over to zwiftpower.com, check it out, and you can read all of the information on that. But I'm pretty sure there are suggestions in a lot of the races to not hang on to riders who are not a part of the race or to riders who might be on Z Power. But it does look like Szerzynski here able to get away away here, and not quite as important on this course, although they were on a section of the course that was fairly flat there. He was getting a little bit of advantage, I think, over Hazelstead, Plugmers, and McQuaid. We'll just call it as we see it, right, boys and girls? So here we go now with Hazelstead here, 5.2 watts per kilogram, looking to make that close with Plugmers on his wheel and McQuaid. These points aren't gone yet at 9 to 8 seconds out. It's not over. And these three may be able to chase them down if they work well together on the downhill section of the courses. That's going to be the most important point, to have a group with you and start working together. But a lot of times these courses break apart intensely the groups out there. So definitely going to be watching to see how it plays out as far as how much of a group can stick together as they make their way toward the tower. In the B race, things are still really heating up. I mean, really contending right now. We do see Turnmount here still at about 4.3 watts per kilogram, trying to get back on terms with Dixon as well as MV and Lund. So quite the battle here going on with Dixon at the front here, 3.6 watts per kilogram. Still though 4.7, so he's going to get an A upgrade on the Go-Go Power Ranger. So Turnmount probably can just let him go most likely. But we do got Lund, Turnmount, and MV here hammering away up toward the front of this race. And Ox here is then on his wheel as well. So we got a group of four making their way up to the top here, about to hit, it looks like 5.1% gradient. They're about to hit a kick here in just a second in that 6 to 7% gradient right before they go into the old castle out on course here. Fagerland did fall off, it looks like 11 seconds back. Jager Bergenski with Erlegard now making up a chase, the third chase group, I believe, out on course here, about 13 seconds back from the lone TT effort coming here from the Swedish rider, Fagerland here on that S5 Cervelo, hammering away in that kit. I think that a lot of the Swedes, a 338 though, I'm not sure what 338 stands for. Maybe we can get a tweet at us for if that's a team coming out of Sweden. But it looks like the solid effort here coming from him. Simon Russell, good to see you over at the Facebook, saying nice new graphic overlay with the ZP results. Yeah, it's looking good. We appreciate the comments there very much. Bergenski now with Olegard, it looks like, chasing down Olegard out of Denmark here, hammering away on the Americans' wheel, 4.1 watts per kilogram, steady so far, and it looks like they're sitting in about fifth and sixth place right now. Solid right now as they try and chase down M. Lund, who's up at the front here, has actually gone by Dixon, actually. MV, Lund, and the Oxman here with Dixon right on the wheel. So now we've got a group of five up at the front. Turnmount here still trying to throw down the Belgian rider, 5.5 watts per kilogram now. And now we got Lund with an attack here up into that 7 watts per kilogram as it kicks into a 6.9% gradient. This might be a deciding moment here as the Danish rider now goes right on by, but then backs it off. It looks like the 2.5 might have been a little much here as he slows right back down. So definitely opening up the gap now. It was only 11 seconds just a moment ago, and now it's going right back out to that 15 or so. So I think these boys may be able to keep the Swedish rider Fagerland off the wheel here. So back to the front though with the A riders, as we still have, it looks like Szerzynski, who's just going away from the rest of the boys now, kicking into that 7.0% gradient now, 6.0 watts per kilogram, 175 beats per minute. Mosgrove on the Go-Go Power Ranger with Plugmers and Hazelstead now, it looks like 4 seconds back. So it's going to be Plugmers with Mosgrove. They did drop off Hazelstead, but Hazelstead with a kick there, 3 seconds is all it is. This is a moment where he can get back on terms right here, right now. He has to do it though. If he grabs the wheel right now, he will have that draft up and over the top here. He's within just a few meters. He can see, close the gap probably right in front of him right now. Mosgrove is right there. It's a 1 second gap, and there they go away from him. He needs to not let the power drop. He has to kick over the top right now, but there's no continuance, and Plugmers goes out to 7 seconds. He has to kick again as we get this first person point of view. He's almost grabbed onto that wheel here, but Mosgrove now 3 seconds out. Continue over the top there, Halstenstad, or it's going to be GG and they're going to be gone again. Now he's going to have a little bit more time on this climb. It's not quite as much of a kick, but he's got to go now because there's going to be another downhill gradient in just a moment. As we look from the top helicopter camera here, you can see this little bit of a climb here. There's the gap, and as they make their way down here in just a moment, there's just this downhill section where he could grab a little bit of respite. So a little work right now will make it happen, but he sees, Pluzmer sees that he's coming back, does not want him to go. 8 watts per kilogram real quickly there, but now Pluzmer's phased to 2.0. Nothing left in the legs. Mazurov goes to the front to try and pull things along. Hazelsted's almost there. He's right there again, but Pluzmer's kicks again into 7. They do not want him to come back, as the Norwegian now 3.6 watts per kilogram just has nothing left in the legs, cannot throw it down to get back on the wheel. It's been this 1 second gap over and over again. The two just keep on holding them off. Oh, the suffering. Oh my goodness, as Hazelstead tries and tries to get back on terms, but it just does not happen. The gap is back out, as you can see here, and it's, oh man, out to 7 seconds. Not sure it's going to come back within. All right, maybe it's time to go steady Eddie again to the top of the climb. He's still got the tower to work with for getting back in the top 3 position, but they are gone at 12 seconds. It was within 1 second. All he needed to do was grab that 1 second on the wheel. Hazelstead, the agony, they're saying over at Twitch chat. And oh my goodness, McQuaid here now 38 seconds back, followed by Jay Lecoq from the KRT team. That is your top 6 so far out on course. Solid effort from those boys. We do have a little attacks heating up in the B race though, as we're back with Dixon, Lund, and MV. Termont here still hanging on, not dropped off, but Fargalund now still 27 seconds back, as you can see here. Bergenski now with Ulegard still steady at the back here, but 45 seconds gap continues to go out. So doesn't look like that's going to be closed down, but Dixon here unable to get away from these boys. As they close it down through that 7.6, 7.5% grade. It's about to go downhill here in a second, though, as they head to that rickety old bridge up on the mountain. And as they do, I believe we may be able to see some sort of a break if somebody kicks over to the top of this last little uphill grind. We'll have to see if they do so. Termont here, 3.8 watts per kilogram. Dixon now, 3.8 as well. Nobody with much of a kick. There goes Ox, though. 5.2 now. There's the kick we were looking for now, as we were talking about. 5.8 watts per kilogram. Now, we're on that 5% gradient. This is the moment right here that I think he's trying to get away before they hit the actual top of the Epic KOM or those flatter section of the course. If anybody goes with them, they may be able to drop 1 or 2 off on this section of the course here. We do see the gap there. Nobody able to close it down. If we get MV's perspective, we'll see if he can throw down and close that down here. But as you can see here, there's the gap, 4.1, 4.5 watts per kilogram, closing little by little, but he's never holding steady. And that's the thing with the speed on an uphill. You've got to hold steady at about the same watts per kilogram. You can't just go there for a second and then come back down, or go there for a second, come back down. OX is at a steady 4.5, 4.4 watts per kilogram, which is able to get away. MV with a dropout there. Oh no, one of the worst times to have a dropout there, or maybe just had to rest the legs for a second, but now he's going back. It looks like Dixon here with a little bit of attack, and this may be a moment of truth amongst these boys here. Ox still going 4.9 watts per kilogram, getting over the top of this last little section before the rickety bridge here. 3.3 now fades a little bit. Can he hold on to the power and bring those miles per hour Ks up here in just a second? Now we are seeing now another kick there. Yep, he is fully determined to cause this gap to go out right now, as he's getting away from these boys. It does look like he does not have, well, he does have Kiss in his name. We'll have to see if he's going to get an update into the results here. We do not see what his current wattage is being held just yet, so we'll have to wait for him to cross one of these sections on course to get an update of exactly what he's been throwing down. But we do have Pluzmers and the others. They did make their way up and over the top of the Epic KOM, and they are just heading into, in the A race, heading into the tower climb. Pluzmers here, 5.9, 6.1 watts per kilogram. As we said, we thought they'd be right around 18 to 19 minute climb. And that's right about what they held, 18:46. And Pluzmers with a solid effort, grabbing that Epic KOM. Szerzynski now 18:47. Mosgrove, though, was about 3 to 4 seconds back, actually, with about an 18:51 over the top there. So Pluzmers, Szerzynski, Mosgrove now 2 seconds back, falling off pace. Hazelstead now maybe going to be hunting down Mosgrove rather than the other two who are going off the front now. Pluzmers maybe just waiting for this moment as the uphill gradient really kicks in. Where he really gets an advantage is this section of the course, as one of the lightest riders out on course right now. But now fades to 2.7 watts per kilogram. Maybe not much left, or doesn't want to drop Szerzynski off just yet. And is actually looking for Szerzynski to come with him so that on the downhill section they can work together. Out on Zwift, the drafting effect is so intensely important that you definitely want to have a few riders with you on the downhill section if you're not confident to hold the rest of the boys off. Now, if you think you've got a solid TT, though, you might be able to get away. Plusmers does have a good kick. As we get down through from the helicopter view here, he is starting to get away. He's got 1 second. There's a little daylight between him and Szerzynski, and I think Szerzynski might have thrown down as much as he possibly could out on that mountain course here so far. Now, Plusmers here sees a little bit of weakness, I think. He senses it now. He kicks it with the feather power-up we're seeing from the Team Experimental rider here. Up at that 7 watts per kilogram, has a 2-second gap. Now, here's the thing, boys and girls. A 2-second gap on a 15% gradient is like 10 seconds on a flat. It's absolutely huge. Trying to close down 2 seconds on this kind of gradient, as long as the riders around you are holding the same watts per kilogram or so, it's so incredibly difficult to try and push and get back onto a wheel with that 2 seconds. It feels like a huge, monstrous gap to close down, and I'll be surprised if Szerzynski can close this down unless Plusmers seriously fades over the top here. But here's the thing, will Plusmers be looking for a TT swap? Here's the thing, boys and girls, with the KISS races, anything that is in-game is allowed. And so if you get a power-up, you can use the power-ups all you want. You want to use a TT bike, you can use a TT bike. You want to swap to a TT bike on the downhill section because it's faster on the downhill. If Plusmers gets enough room between himself and Szerzynski, it might be his advantage, actually, to jump on the TT bike here. So Szerzynski needs to close this down right now so that Plusmers cannot make the swap quick before he gets on his wheel. But Plusmers, it looks like here, 6.6, 6.7, 7 watts per kilogram, still getting away here, but Szerzynski here battling it out at 6.4, almost back right on terms with him. Maybe even let him dangle out there a little bit, let him go a little bit, and said, I can close that down, no problem. Let's let this guy wear himself out, and then I'll come flying right on by here. And now we're looking through that right on. The rider in front disappears when the ride on goes through. That was kind of crazy. We get ghosts out on course when we get the ride ons coming through. That's pretty cool, actually. All right, looking over the shoulder here now, Szerzynski now makes the close. It is 19 seconds back to Mosgrove, and now another kick from Plusmers as they hit this last little bit of the climb. As it feels like it's steeper at this point. I don't think it actually does, but it feels like it gets steeper because it's the last little section. You know it's almost over, and you usually want that one last little kick up and over the top here. So we are seeing here Szerzynski now on the wheel there. Mosgrove 21 seconds back. Halselstead with the all-day chase with McQuaid now with him, and now there's going to be 2 riders here trying to chase these boys down. Mosgrove now 4.5 watts per kilogram. Trying to pull these boys back in, but not going to happen. It looks like it's 23 seconds. That'll go out to over a minute, I believe, as they make their way up and over the top. Plusmers with a kick now, 8 watts per kilogram. It looks like Szerzynski easily able to follow, though. Right back on that wheel, 172 beats per minute. Plusmers kicking again, 7.6 watts per kilogram. Watch that avatar. Sprint up and out of the saddle here. He keeps on trying to get the break, but it's not going anywhere. It's going to be Team Poland versus Team Experimental up and over the top here as they crest out the tower on the Pretzel climb here. What a solid effort here from these boys as they make their way over the top here, going past the monument there. 516 meters total climb so far. Solid effort. And so looking through here, we do see Mosgrove now 37 seconds back from McQuaid, now 5.0 watts per kilogram. Looks like they've almost caught back up to Mosgrove. If they put on a solid watt per kilogram more than Mosgrove, they probably are going to catch him actually up and over the top here. As Halselstead, though, man, the effort, man, he was almost with Plusmers. I'm not sure he would have been able to hang with him, though, up and over the top of the climb, actually. And it was Mosgrove and Szerzynski going off the front halfway up, and you can see how much can change if you put out too much over the top of these climbs here. And you can see that Mosgrove, who was with the lead, now fading and being caught by McQuaid. And then Halselstead moving his way backwards as these other boys maybe set a steady tempo at what they knew that they could hold. We look looks like we do have the riders in the B category just coming up and over the top of the climb. And so we do have the battles here starting to work out between the B boys here. And it looks like it is going to be Dixon with MV and Termont here, as well as Lund in the top 4. But Dixon has gotten away on the Go-Go Power Rangers here. I don't believe he can actually win the category today, but it'll be a solid workout for him. So MV, the virtual leader, but looks like Termont here saving a little bit of a gas here as he knows he can put the pedal down at this point now and really gain some time, as this is where the gradients go seriously uphill. So 5.0 watts per kilogram, 178 beats per minute, comes right back to MV and then kicks again and stays steady into that 3.9, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Will he have the same effort though all the way to the top of the course? You'll have to wait and see if he can hold off Lund. He does get a gap over Ox. OX here actually looks like something happened. He had a dropout and then logged out, it looks like. So Ox was like, forget it, man. I picked KOM and I am done. OX had a solid effort out there today, but it looks like had to pull out of the race today. So it looks like Lund here with Termont, MV, Fagerland here still keeping it within 30 seconds actually, which is super interesting. I wonder if we're going to see a late race counter come here from the Swedish rider with a steady 4 to 5 watts per kilogram, maybe all the way to the top here. Has he been reserving enough to close this down and bring it back at the end of the race? But Lund here has a solid 4.5 watts per kilogram to give to the top here. They are right on the edge here, 4.3, 4.1 watts per kilogram, as you can see on the left-hand side of the course here. So they're right on the edge of the max that they're supposed to be able to hold to be a part of this category. Dixon here at 4.6 and on the Go-Go Power range will not be able to take the W today. He'll get an upgrade into the A category. And so now looking through here, Larry Hot Dogs is saying Z-Power servers could be like the Olympics. That was an interesting comment there, Larry Hot Dogs, over at the Twitch channel. If you'd like to interact with the Twitch channel, you can do so by heading on over to twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. There's a whole lot of chat going on over there, a lot of interaction, as well as the HD stream on that streaming platform. It is a place we are looking to grow our Zwift Community Live streams, and as well as the community of streamers of Zwift. So if you would like to head on over there, it is twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. You can find all the links to all the places that we are online actually also at zwiftcommunitylive.com. It does look like Lund here, 4.9 watts per kilogram steadily out of Denmark, is starting to take the lead here as Termont is unable to hang on to that wheel. So this is the move on the tower climb. It's always the place where the half pretzels are decided most likely by, at least for the main lead groups that will be there at the finish of the course. They will make their way over the top of the tower here and then down toward Ocean Boulevard. They'll take a left-hand turn on Ocean Boulevard, but then they'll do the reverse Watopia KOM, which is about a 4-minute climb. The one last chance to make a break. Speaking of heading down toward that section of the course, we do have the leaders of the A now attacking each other actually on the downhill. We're seeing 7-8 watts per kilogram coming from Straczynski and the rest of them. There's the WBR rider jumping into the action here as well. Not actually a part of the race, so we'll have to see what's up with that. But Mosgrove here now full 2:35 back from those boys as they continue to attack each other at the front now. McQuaid here now 17 seconds back from Mosgrove with Hazelstead now in a solo TT effort as well. The Melting Man waiting up maybe for his teammate there, Jay Lecoq, coming out of Canada. Looking over his shoulder, there is his teammate. We'll see if they wait up for each other and work together, maybe to bring back Halselstead, who's sitting at about 2.0 watts per kilogram. If they can work together up into that 5 watts per kilogram or plus, and we do see Melty Man here throwing down a solid 10 watts per kilogram. There's no love lost between these boys as they're trying to drop off a Sherritt, I believe, here as he kicks into 12 watts per kilogram on this 9% grade. He knows this is the moment to kick in and try and grab that wheel. As we said earlier, it's all about the continuance up over the top here. It is a 1 second difference, and it looks like Sherritt will be able to grab on and drop off Jay Leclerc, and now it's going to be a battle between the KRT boy at the front here, the Melty Man, and the BRT Bolt Racing boy. KRT versus BRT, boys and girls, and it's Canada v UK here out on course for these top spots Actually, it looks like they're battling it out for 6th and 7th out on course right now, unless they're able to catch up to Haselstead, who's about at 3.4 watts per kilogram, a minute 33 up. That's going to have to be a huge effort, though, as they get into that Sagan, tuck, and trade back and forth down the climb here. Look at this effort they're putting out. Solid, huge effort, and they got a little bit of a gap here over Jay Leclerc, who has to keep on pedaling as these boys get into that tuck position and continue to go away from him. 4 seconds is the gap, but they're not going to be catching back up, it looks like. Or he's not going to be catching back up as A. Sherritt sees the KRT boy trying to close it down and kicks again into those orange numbers here. Jay Leclerc here keeping it pretty steady, but not going to be able to catch back up just yet. Back at the front of the race, of the B race, actually, it looks like we've got a new leader as he just starts to crest up and over the top of the tower climb, actually. M. Lund coming out of Denmark here, 4.5 watts per kilogram, steady now, as he did catch up to S. Dixon here. Termont, though, 11 seconds back. That's going to go out to probably a minute or so. Lund with a kick over and over the top here. One last little effort, it looks like, before they head on downhill, 3.4 watts per kilogram. And it looks like Termont says he's going to try and try the TT swap, as he knows he's off the back now. Verhoeven is the only chaser along with MV with Termont. So it looks like Termont is looking to try the swap here. We'll see. You're going to have to slow down very quickly, though, there, Termont. Do it right now. Do not take any speed. No speed whatsoever. Good. Yeah, there you go. He's doing it right. He's going to get that TT swap going here as he keeps on pedaling, though, messing around a little bit. This is not a quick transition, boys and girls. It's just like, is this a triathlon? We're in transition here as he's hanging out here. Grabs the TT bike. Did he get on it? Let's see if he was able to hit up the, yep, there it is. There's the TT bike, 4.2, 5.2 watts per kilogram. He'll get right back on the MV's wheel and fly right on by him, with Verhoeven unable to catch back up. 8.2 watts per kilogram, gets right up the speed, actually. And this is what we're talking about here now with the tactics in the KISS races. If it's available in game, you can use it. Tries the TT swap, goes flying right on by. He'll get up into that 70, 80 even kilometers per hour or so as he makes his way on the downhill section here, maybe even into 90 kilometers per hour. And or as far as miles per hour, probably into the 50 or so on this downhill section right now. 3.3 watts per kilogram immediately opens up a gap to MV. Back to the front of the A race as we're watching the tactics at the front of the B race unfold. Mosgrove now taking the left-hand turn onto the Ocean Boulevard here, going past the windmills. We are seeing a rider out on course here turning around, blocking the way there for a second, maybe not happy with the current results that are taking place here, but now Strzezinski here, 4.7 watts per kilogram. We had a photo bomb, race bomb there for a second there as the rider's coming in workout mode. But now Strzezinski here, 4.3 watts per kilogram. Plujmer is now 4.3 sitting on his wheel. Looks like these two riders still on the front here. It's going to be a battle up and over the top of the reverse KOM between these two boys. That's where things are really going to heat up. That's the next section on course that they can really try and get any kind of separation between each other. Over the top, 4 minutes to the top or so of the reverse KOM. And then it'll be a downhill, very quick downhill, and then a left-hand turn back into the piers. And going to be extremely, extremely intense battle if they're still together at that point. But we'll see if somebody can drop the other off over the reverse KOM today. Frank the Tank hanging out over at the Twitch chat. Good to see you. Says bike change. And CS Tricks says that they need a bike swap clinic. And you can probably learn a lot from Casey Shum, actually, one of our streamers on the Zwift Community Live Network. Good to see you, Casey, over at the Twitch chat. And he's saying, need to change on the uphill and open the pairing screen to slam on the brakes. Exactly. And A is the key, that hotkey for that. We're getting some lessons being learned right now, actually, in the Twitch chat. And that's awesome. Daniel over at the Facebook saying, Team Poland, keep going. So we've got some predictions here coming from, or at least cheering going on from the different chats. Let's hear your predictions. Szerzynski or Pluzmers, Team X or Team Poland out there today. They got a minute 21, barring any kind of major mishap at this point. They are most likely going to be your 1 and 2 out there today. So on the reverse KOM, let's hear your predictions between these two boys out on course here today. We still also, though, back in the B race, and we are seeing actually Casey Shum saying Team X all the way, cheering him on. He might have a little bit of bias being on Team Experimental, but we are seeing here Termont here from the BRT team, Bolt Racing team, on that TT bike, able to close down quite a bit, actually, of distance to Lund here. 44 miles per hour here coming from Lund, 9.0 watts per kilogram, 45-46 on a similar section of course, really flying on this downhill as he is on that TT, able to hold off. It looks like MV at 42-43, still kicking it into 2.2 watts per kilogram, 2 mile per hour difference. There's the difference we're looking at right now between these boys. Now 45 is Termont put up 47-45. You can see on the same sections of course, it's 1 to 2 miles per hour difference actually between that TT bike. So now 52 seconds is the difference between Lund and Termont as he keeps on flying down on that TT bike. Let's see if he can hold on. But here's the thing, even if he makes the catch, he will not get a draft. So we'll have to keep on going, flying right on by, because the reality is Lund will be able to draft on him. So at that point, it's going to be mano a mano on the same power, even if Termont is able to catch him here. Lund now kicking again, as you can see here, into that 8.9 watts per kilogram, trying to catch back up to Dixon, though, as this is still a battle for first place out there today. Lund, 8.2 watts per kilogram, 145 beats per minute. Termont now only 39 seconds back here. That TT swap treating him very, very well. All right, the boys at the front of the A's, though, here they go. Szerzynski now 6.4 watts per kilogram, but Pluzmers covers it very quickly. Right back on terms there at 6.3% gradient. Now they're kicking into that 8, 9, 10% gradient. Pluzmers now going into the orange numbers, boys and girls. 8 watts per kilogram, 172 beats per minute. We've seen him maxing right around that high 170s to 180s, so he's got a few beats to work with here. 175 into that threshold, steady. But Szerzynski follows very closely here. As we look over his shoulder there's Pluzmers right along with him. Kicks again in 7.0 watts per kilogram. Pluzmers now fading a little bit as they come over that crest, though. And will he hold on to the wheel? Now has to kick into 8.9 watts per kilogram to grab back on the wheel. Does so just barely, as it looks like Peter, Szerzynski has legs all day here. We'll give him a ride on real quickly here. Tries to kick again. Pluzmers is going. A couple of ride-ons, boys and girls. Encourage these boys on as they make their way over the top here. Serious suffering going on right now. Pluzmers just barely hanging on. Looks like he's doing these little kicks just to grab the wheel. Szerzynski, with the continuance, that steady power at the front, continues to pull away little by little, and Pluzmers just wants the wheel to get some reprieve as Peter just keeps on turning the screws at the front here. 180 beats per minute. Absolutely suffering at the front of this race right now as Pluzmers then grabs right back on. The difference is 4 meters, 3 meters. You can see it at the bottom there. You know whether or not Pluzmers has a draft because of those meters. You see it's 3 meters again, 4 meters again. It goes out again and again. 5 meters. There's no draft at this point. Pluzmers have to grab back on. He keeps having to burn match after match. He's looking for those rests every single time he grabs onto that wheel here. Peter now 3.2, 4.4 watts per kilogram. Is Pluzmers going to kick right on by him, though? Is this a counter? No, it's not. He's just looking for a rest here. Looking for a sprint, though, maybe, as maybe he knows he's got more of a kick now. Pluzmers in 9.7 watts per kilogram, 173 beats per minute. This for the win in the A race on the Pretzel route, boys and girls. Who's going to win it today in this A category? And we are seeing a couple of predictions here coming. Kyle Mack is saying, rumors you was turned off due to a bug. To change units, you have to go to the menu. Oh, yeah, as far as the, that is not a prediction. It's talking about how I am unable to change. I usually do it in metric, just so everybody knows. It is an imperial right now. Apologies to everyone over the seas. Usually I do it in metric, have the... all the stats at the top in metric, but it was set up for my silly American style for my riding, and so we'll just have to deal with 17.8 miles that we are in, and 29 miles per hour currently right now. We'll see if we can get an update maybe from Zwift as to what's going on with that. Maybe it's in the latest Zwiftcast, as I know there were some interviews going on with Mr. Simon Schofield. But we are doing this last kick to the top of the course here. 7.4 watts per kilogram. Pluzmer's kicking into 10 watts per kilogram to hang on. Is he hanging on, or is he going right on by? That's the question. No, Poland still got 8 watts per kilogram to give. Pluzmer's is on the wheel here. Nobody's going anywhere just yet. And we've got Durham here just hanging out. Chris Durham from the WBR just kind of hanging out, watching the race, it looks like, trying to follow these boys. Good to see Chris here on that Tron bike, it looks like, looking for a little bit of a workout, trying to follow these boys in the race today. Strzezinski now 6.6 watts per kilogram, it looks like, up at the front here. We're going to stay with these guys until the finish line, as we don't want to miss any of the action. Larry is asking, why doesn't Zwift lift the level cap? Because they're still in development of things to add for the levels, as well as there's a whole lot going on in the background for, I think, some changes that are going to be coming. Just a little bit of a hint there I'll throw out, but there are some changes that might be coming that have to do with things that you earn with experience and things like that. So I have a feeling that there's some really cool stuff coming down the road. That is why there hasn't been any changes to the levels just yet. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm super excited for those things as well. Larry, not saying anything. Claude Durham, no. Leave him alone. Let him go. You're not racing these guys, not in the race. Let them go. All right, here we go. They let him go. So that's good to see as Durham gets away here. Now we do see Pluzmer's kicking it into 11 watts per kilogram real quick there to hang onto the wheel. Fades one more time here, so I'm glad that they did not go with Chris there. Good to see as he kicks away from the rest of these boys. And so now the race is between Pluzmer's and Strzezinski. Now Pluzmer's keeps on almost like baiting him with these little kicks here, back and forth here, but they're in the last 500 meters. Somebody's got to go now. I think it's going to be the first one to go at this point, because they are right within that section of course where it really matters. There's a gap actually now between Strzezinski and Pluzmer's. Pluzmer's goes though from way out there. What's happening? He's not even going. What is going on? I don't even know what's happening to the line here. 14 watts per kilogram. Everybody just kind of watched each other, and the first one to go wins it, because Pluzmer's went to the front, said, all right, fine, you're going to give it to me, I'll take it. And that is for the win. Boys and girls across the line. Did it actually leave the... that was at the line there. It was a half pretzel, boys and girls. As Strzezinski just says, okay, I don't know where the finish line is, but I'm just going to keep on going. As maybe they logged in as a full pretzel. We'll have to wait and see here. But now we do have McQuaid here making his way to the line with Mosgrove. Looks like McQuaid will be able to take third place out there today. Back in the B Ray, that was a really strange sprint. That was a super strange sprint. CX tricks over at the Twitch channel. Definitely an interesting one, that's for sure. Termont here from the Bolt Racing team now. 14 seconds up from Lund. Dixon here still has a solid 42 seconds. So good effort from him. We'll give him a ride on. But Termont here was able to catch Lund and go right on by with that TT bike. Attacked him here. Got the gap here. Now Lund here 12 seconds is the difference now. As you can see here, 6.5 watts per kilogram. But I don't think he's going to catch Termont. That TT bike is super fast and definitely has the ability to hold off Lund if Lund does not throw down 4.0 plus watts per kilogram. Looks like these boys are right on the edge. And what's cool about the mountain route, you guys, is that it really does a good job of telling you what people's 20-minute power is, what their threshold power is. And because of that, it does actually give a good idea. If you want to get a good idea of where you belong amongst the categories, do a mountain route or just a climb to the mountain, to the top of the mountain. See what that 20-minute power or so is to the top, and you can get a good idea of what your functional threshold power with that battle for that epic KOM is. And as you can see here, right around that 4.0 watts per kilogram, Termont, Lund, MV, low end, as well as Fagerlund there in the top 5 to 6, all set up real well within that B categories. B category is 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram. And Matthew Burton is saying, gutted, my trainer died just as I was cresting the tower. Oh, Matthew, I'm so sorry to hear that, buddy. hopefully you get it sorted and you're able to get back out on Zwift soon, or at least get it plugged back in and no more dying of the trainer here. Looks like we got a battle here, though, between Sherritt and Lecoq. Lecoq was able to get back on terms with these boys here, but now we do have, it looks like the Melty Man is going 12.0 watts per kilogram at the front of this race, but now Jay Lecoq kicking up into those killer watts, but the Melty Man and Sherritt, though, plays them all across the line. Bolt Racing Team followed by B. Melty and Tallow, and then Jay Lecoq. Solid effort there. That was in the A race. Sorry about that, boys. We caught the finish for the A's there. So that was what we were looking at. I didn't swap over the cameras there for a second, but Sherritt followed like Lecoq and the Melty Man. That was the battle for them. So it was Sherritt followed by Lecoq and then Melting Tallow. So then, I'm sorry, no, it was Sherritt, Melting Tallow, then Jay Lecoq. That was the finishing order. So now looking at Termont here with Lund, trying to chase him down at 13 seconds back or so. And we are seeing that maybe MV right along with Lund, about 14 seconds. They may be able to pull this back in if they work together. He's to be determined. So, as far as, I thought he was determined, like I'm a determined rider, but I have a feeling he's looking for a team. So MV, boys and girls, in that B category, you are looking for a team member. It looks like MV's looking for a team right now. Maybe, check out the recruitments there over at zwiftpower.com. Now these two are working together out here, it looks like, to bring Termont back in. This is where the TT bike no longer has an advantage. And so we'll have to see if they are able to close that gap down. But 17 seconds is a pretty huge gap. So it's going to be a difficult day, I think, for him to pull that back in. We did just see Fleetwood come across the line in the A category. So it looks like Fleetwood followed by Bierlin here coming out of Germany, holding off Ian Appleby by about 27 seconds or so. So it does look like we are waiting for a few more of the results here in the A category, but it was Peter Szerzynski, it looks like, was leading things out with the gap here, but I believe Joachim took the W there. We'll have to wait for Zwift Power to update for us with the official results. But Bierlin just crossing the line. Nice job to him. Now we're back with the B category riders as Lund here kicking into 6.3 watts per kilogram gets a gap over MV. No longer working together. They're just looking for the podium places at this point as Termont sits at about 3.5 watts per kilogram. You're welcome at Team WBR. What's up, Christopher? Thanks a lot for not interrupting. I'm glad you were able to get out there and ride with the boys and get a good workout, Christopher. Always good to see you out on course. And thanks for not interrupting the race there and sprinting right on by those boys, getting away from them. Nice job out there, Christopher. I hope things are going really well for you. If you guys are unfamiliar with who we're talking about there, Christopher Durham, he's been hanging out since beta and has been racing with WBR, formerly Team Z. Was with them since they were Team Z, actually, and getting some amazing results, I believe, in real life as well as in Zwift. So a junior rider coming up through the Zwift categories as well as the real life categories. Hope things are going really well for you, Christopher, in the real life racing and life in general here. So we do have Termont here, it looks like, here, able to hold off MV. MV and Lund, we're battling to the line here, but MV and Lund still 11 seconds, so Lund was unable to get away here as Termont now up and over the top on that TT bike in full-on suffer mode, 175 beats per minute. Holding off MV and Lund here. Zwift gives us all a ride on over at the Facebook. Good to see you, Zwift, hanging out in the Facebook chat. So looking through here, we are seeing a little bit of a battle here with Mitchell and Appleby across the line. They did just come across the line in the A category just a minute ago, so nice job to them. I do have, it looks like, D. Crane as well as, is that Frank Deal actually in the race here? Looks like Deal here about to cross the line. Nice job to him. He did the TT swap actually. And is that Frank the Tank actually hanging out in the race somewhere in the top 20? Nice job to him as he makes his way across the line coming out of the US of A. So back to the B category riders, though, as we watch Frank cross the line. We'll see what the next riders are in the A category in just a moment. But we do have the winners in the B category about to cross the line here. Dixon on GoGo Power Rangers. Nice job to him. Thanks a lot for jumping into the race. 185 beats per minute. Solid effort on the Go-Go Power Rangers, though, and is over category limits, so he will get an upgrade to the A's and be racing with those boys next time. Termont here, though, 8 seconds is the difference here. MV and Lund are playing cat and mouse games, will not be able to catch him because of those cat and mouse games, and with 8 seconds, I just don't think it's possible in the last kilometer. So Termont here, 3.4 watts per kilogram out of Belgium, will be taking the W here with that TT swap. He was off the back from Lund. Did the TT swap at the top of the tower. That tactic paid off for him as he makes his way to the line. 3.4 watts per kilogram. MV and Lund here setting up for a sprint, though. We'll have to see how this is going to play out behind, but it is going to be Termont for the W ahead of the rider who's going to get that upgrade. Who's going to go first, though? MV or Lund? They're just kind of watching each other at this point, and it looks like they're just going to stroll across the line. I'm not sure. Is MV 3.6 watts per kilogram, and it looks like it's going to be MV across the line here. I think the riders, is this a full pretzel? Are we like calling this incorrectly? I think the riders were expecting a half pretzel, but now they're continuing on. And I'm going to take a look here, and maybe we've been calling this. I'm just going to double check here really quickly. But Termont now resting it up, it looks like, and we do have a few other riders a little ways back as they're coming to the line here. We do have, it looks like, the Swedish rider with Verhoeven right on his wheel. Fagerlund and Verhoeven now are about to battle it out to the line here. We're going to have a kick, and it looks like Sweden might be able to hold off Verhoeven, though. 5.2 watts per kilogram. Here comes the kick from the Netherlands. Is he going to do this here? It looks like 10 watts per kilogram. Looks like it is going to be Verhoeven across the line, first place, as Fagerlund not going to be able to pull this off. B. Lowen is there as well. Gotcha. So Timothy is saying 1 kilometer to go, but I'm sure finish banner is finished. That is where the watchers are at, so I'm pretty sure you are right as well. Below and followed by Glensell, Jason here, and then Figueredo, Growling, Rappa. Lots of battles to the line. It looks like Whistlesperger's up here as well. K. Erlegard, Bergenski, and we've got Ansalara there. Bergenski, Ansalara, and K. Erlegard. This is that chase group we were talking about for a long time. They've been hanging out for a while now, all together out on the mountain route. So we'll get back in with the C's and the A's. With the C group in just a moment. We do have their feed that we'll be able to bring in for you in just a few here as they make their way to the line as well. But we do have a battle here to the line between, it looks like, Bergenski, who now kicks one more time. Ansalara got dropped off, but he is coming with 11 watts per kilogram to give out of Switzerland here. And it looks like the Swiss rider is going to walk away from the rest of them. They tried to drop a power up to stay with it, but it's going to be Ansalara to the line in this B category. And that's for a solid, I believe, 8th place overall amongst them. And then Bergenski here, 8.9 watts per kilogram, followed by Olegard, going to be taking down that 10th place overall. Whistlesperger is here now, 3 seconds up from Harrison, as Harrison tries to grab onto the PTZ rider's wheel. Not going to happen, I don't believe, unless he's got a crazy kick. 2 seconds isn't that much, though, as you do see the gap there. And Whistlesperger is going to have to go right now from that PTZ team in that new kit. 4.6 watts per kilogram coming from Harrison, 144 beats per minute. Whistlesperger should be able to hold this off. We'll have to see, though. It's 1 second, no seconds here. Will he go to the line? And he gets nipped right at the line there. Oh, my goodness. Come on, just a little bit more Whistlesperger. Jay Rich, followed by Doman. Jay Rich from the KRT team. Going to be holding off G. Doman from that BRT. Lots of BRT and KRT battles out here today. Nice job between these boys here as well. Big C MacD is saying that there was a little something with the event module today. So definitely check your results at zwiftpower.com for all of them, just so you guys know. Christopher Durham saying, great to hear from you, Nathan. I hope you are well and your season progressing nicely. Try to join a few races soon. Well, I live in the northern hemisphere of the US of A. We don't start racing until like May. Like really serious races don't really get going until May. It's cold here for a long time. I like that kind of a season, though. Saunders now making his way to the line in this B category, followed by Walpole as well. Solid little effort here between these boys. Saunders going to get the better of them, followed by Jay Mooney. Jay Therion is here out of France. Nice job to him, as it's about 13 seconds up from Mooney and Roden. So it looks like Roden, though, kicking it at 8.2 watts per kilogram. They might be closing this gap down with this battle and this drafting all the way to line. It's only 10 seconds. Look at how quickly it's falling here. Nobody really going just yet, though, is Roden, Dodsworth, Mooney, all together with Ayton here. In this B category race, still battling out for somewhere within the top 20 here. Mooney goes to the front now. They all fade as the cat and mouse games begin. Nobody wants to take the pole. Nobody wants to jump first. Therion sees the threat now coming 7 seconds back now. 6 seconds. They got him within their sights, but if they don't got 12, 15 watts per kilogram to give at this point, they will not be catching him, as Therion is going to just barely hold him off. But Dodsworth now kicks from the BRT team, 6 watts per kilogram here. Here comes Mooney, though, 8.9, 9 watts per kilogram from Roden, but it's a 1 second gap. Will they be able to catch him? Therion crosses the line. Dodsworth is holding it off. He's got the gap, and Mooney just barely unable to nip them at the line. So it will be that finishing order: Dodsworth, Mooney, then Roden, followed by Ayton out there on course. Nice job between those boys out there. For the A category, riders are just coming across the line. We did just see McCown come across the line here in the A category. Nice job to them. To him. Looking quite a ways back in the C category, I believe this may be the leader in the C category. We'll have to wait and see. It might have been DeCrane, actually, but we'll have to wait and see. See if we can update for the C category the results so that you guys can get all of the information on that race here as best as we can here for you. I believe for the C category, let's see here real quick. So go ahead and merge these results in for you from zwiftpower.com. And for the C category, we were looking at TM Ruler, followed by D Mum, and then A Suj. A couple of mistakes there in the names there, but then we are seeing G Sadler followed by Barnado. So we'll have to wait and see where these riders are at. They might already be finishing, actually, out on course. Let's go ahead and see how the results are turning up for the finish. And good to see Jonathan Noblet hanging out over at the Twitter. He is saying, so give you guys an idea of what the social media integration looks like if you ever want to throw a cast at us. Check out at Kiss Road Race Arch. Nice additions to the race promoter it goes with the Z Community Live. That's pretty cool, actually. Really cool to see the new race promotions and promoter additions to the banners. So thanks a lot for the tweet. If you'd ever like to get featured in a tweet on our broadcast, as you can see there, at Z Community Live at the bottom of that tweet right there. And so Johnny, thanks a lot for the example there as to how to get involved in the broadcast with your tweets. You can bring in photos or just text tweets with any kind of questions. We would love to answer your questions and bring them into the broadcast. So looking at the B category race, I believe we've got a couple of sprints heating up here with Smith and maybe a few others as they make their way to the line. BJ Alfonso's laughing about something. Neil Ward here coming across the line from the TFC team. Nice job to him. We'll give these guys all a ride on as they make their way to the line. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring up some results for you boys and girls, though. The final A results here, it looks like. For the A category, I hope that these uploaded correctly. It looks like they have. So we do have Peter Szerzynski there. First place with a time of 48.02, 5.0 watts per kilogram for the duration. It looks like he's going to get a Zada tag because 5.0. And as we were saying, the mountain route is a great way to see what kind of power that you can put out for the duration of a race. And so because it's mono and mono like that, it's a good checker to see how things are going. So there'll be a Zada tag most likely on Peter if he's doesn't have the Zada badge already. And they'll be asking him for some strain gauge power meter real life power after that effort. But nice job to him out there today. We saw those heart rates. They were absolutely soaring. Joachim Plumer, second place, followed by Jim McQuaid. Neil Mosgrove, nice job to him for fourth. Eric Halselstead, what a battle, man. We watched him try and hang on to that wheel all the way to the line, to the top of the tower. We saw him through those undulating kickers through the mountain climb. What an effort by Eric Halselstead. Still pulls out a fifth place out there. And Brandon Melting Tile, nice job out there with that battle and that sprint to the line there between you and Sherritt and Jacques. It was a solid effort there between them. Phil Whitley, followed by PKS, Steve Fleetwood, Marcus Beerland, Ian Appleby, Quentin LaFay, and then Peter Roper. Nice job to the top 15 out there today in the A category. In the B category, what we have for the results, I believe we should have easily the top 10 so far. Stephen Dixon there with 4.6 watts per kilogram. Congratulations on the upgrade. You will be in an A category race next time. Make sure to upgrade to the A category, as this 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher is A category, but congratulations on your solid effort out there today. Timothy Termont with the official win with 3.9 watts per kilogram, followed by Matthew Vandervoort, and then Martin Lund for fourth preliminary, but everybody's going to get bumped up one place most likely. Nice job, though, to Steven, for sure. Harm Verhoeven, nice job out there, followed by Nicholas Fagerland, Brian Lowen, Matthew Ansell, John Brzezinski, Casper Ologard, nice job, Colin Harrison, Norbert Wisselsberger. That battle between him and Colin ended up being Colin, followed by John Rich, Garrett Thoman, and Ramon El Galito. Nice job between all of those riders. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of risk here, see if some of the C riders have come across the line just yet. I don't think we're going to have finals just yet. This is the current time gaps, though, as they stand out on course. TM Ruler is out there. We're trying to find them in their event module, but I'm not easily exiting the event module currently. So I'm going to see if I can do some turnaround out on course here, and we'll get into the A, B, and C category in just a moment. I'm going to look around on course and do some clicking, see if we can find that C and D category out there. Yep, here we go. Actually, I did find them. I actually found the front, I believe. Oh, not sure. Actually, I lost them. I had them, and then I lost them. Because I clicked on somebody somewhere with something, but I believe I've got A. Miller here. All right, let's see what's happening. I believe we've got Miller making his way to the line. I believe he's a part of the C category races. He's got Kiss C in his name, followed by Vadakandi. And this is for the top 5, actually, right here. As you can see in the results, actually, 3.9, 3.1 watts per kilogram. These boys are supposed to be putting out somewhere between 2.5 and 3.2. So at the front, TM will get an upgrade to a B category, but Diego as well. But Miller, actually, and Graham Sadler, these guys are battling it out. Graham will take the W, it looks like, but it will be Vadakandi and Miller, actually, here to the line. This is a battle, actually, right there. We aren't seeing any heart right there, but Vadakandi now 1.9, 1.6 watts per kilogram. It's like they're just like, whatever, let's just go take polls and see what's happening here. Nobody's really battling it out. It looks like it's going to be Vadakandi perhaps, or Miller. Miller actually across the line first. Sullivan now kicking it to the line here, though, as he was in 8th place last time we checked here, getting away from the rest of those riders he was with here, as he's battling it between him and McKinn's. As McKinn was in, it looks like 8th place last time that it checked. So now it looks like Sullivan across the line out of Norway, followed by Cavanto, and then McKinn's here out of Australia, holding off, it looks like, C. Bray and Fortis. Looks like our Greneng out of Norway sitting on the Fortis's wheel. Fortis here 4.3 watts per kilogram. And a couple of D riders here making their way to the line. Solid effort from them. We'll see if we can bring in the D category here in just a moment for their results as well. See Bray here now crossing the line just behind Fortis and Grenade. In the C's, though, we do still have M. Routley here. Looks like he actually jumped out of the race, though. No longer part of the race. Jay Harding is here, though. 4.2 watts per kilogram. Solid effort from him. Just about to finish up. Stockvik. Pal Stockvik. Solid effort in. What is this kit? What is this? The Wolfpack. Wolfpack kit. Nice kit. Nice kit there. Still riding for the TFC, it looks like, but he's got a killer looking kit there, Wolfpack kit there. Nice job on that. I haven't seen that before, so that's a killer new kit out on course there with that Tron bike stock bike rolling in style. That's for sure. M. Mersch followed by Andy Baines for the TFC. It looks like in the C category. We'll see if the C category results have updated. I have a feeling we most likely will have a top 10 as we are watching Andy Baines come to the line. Maybe this is the top 10. We have Harding followed by Baines and then Stockvic. Actually, no, it has not updated yet. So these are some of the boys in the top 15 still just coming across the line. So that's what we're waiting for here. And then we'll get some official results as they make their way through. Baines there followed by Davison. And then Merrill, Whitelaw there as well. 3.0, 3.9 watts per kilogram. Timothy Trevett says, thanks for the broadcast and encouragement, Nathan, of course, as always, man. Love to encourage you guys. That's what it's all about. And Frank the Tank is saying, thanks again, Ad Zwift Community Live. Fun and tough race today. Nice job out there, Frank. Killer effort in the A category today. Killer effort out there. So it looks like moving back, we do have W. Warthon then. 1.9 watts per kilogram out of the US of A. Followed pretty closely, it looks like, by McLaren and Devu. Not actually part of the race there. So we are jumping around. We are out of the event module at this point, just so you guys know. So we are jumping around a little bit from the other riders who are out on course. So on the right-hand side, group riders nearby, it's actually all the riders nearby that are a part of, that are just in the world of Zwift that are heading the same direction as these riders right now. As we are on this PC, we are on the A race actually, and so in the A event module, so it says 17 or more in group. That's actually a part of the A racers. As we leave the event, I now see all of the riders who are just nearby out on course, and so we're looking for everybody with KISS in their name and C in their name for the KISS race for the C riders. As McLaren now makes his way to the line 3 seconds up from Rigoron. All right, solid job to all these riders. Actually, Lund now still out on course, making another round, it looks like. Already finishing up in the B category. All right, let's go ahead and see what we got for the C results. I think they should be updated here. And it looks like, well, this is the finishing order that we're going to end up with. I don't believe this is correct. I think Stockvic got the better, or Stockvic was somewhere. Actually, no, I think this is correct, actually. Excuse me. As we are seeing TM, yep. Baines was in that order. Warthon just crossed the line. Yep, this is all correct, it looks like, at this point. So it will be TM followed by Andres, Diego, Graham Sadler, Sean Michael Bernardo, Adam Miller, MRV, Espen Sullivan, and Shane McInnes. David Fortis there rounding out the top 10. Everybody here should be under 3.2 or under, so there's going to be an upgrade for Diego and an upgrade for TM. Nice job to you guys for your upgrades to the B category. So that's going to be it for the broadcast today, boys and girls, everybody out there. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. If you haven't done so already, make sure to head on over to Zwift Community Live, our .com. That's the best place actually to find all the links. And if you would like updates anytime that we go live with all of our programming, which is not just racing. This morning we had Life and Cycling with Mrs. Coach talking about all different, just life and cycling as a mom of 5 and trying to stay in awesome, really good shape and use cycling to better yourself through the power of bicycles. That's what that's all about. In general, just chat, hanging out with you guys and gals out there. We also have Zuskana, who's running group rides, introduction rides for specifically for women at a 1.5 or less on Thursday nights. Really cool thing that Zwift Fitness and her are putting on. The Zwift Fitness Facebook group helps organize that as well. We also have group rides with Mr. Scotty Weiss on Wednesday nights. We've got Racer Focuses, where it's not a broadcast of me or some other race broadcaster chatting to you guys and yelling about the race. It's actually a focus on one person's point of view the entire time going through the race. We're also going to be adding some coached workout rides that are going to be coming down the road. So lots of really cool things happening with Zwift Community Live, all about featuring and highlighting all the things that are happening in the community out on Zwift. If you'd like more of that, Make sure to head on over to our website, zwiftcommunitylive.com. The links should be over there. Otherwise, the main place to get notifications anytime that we go live is going to be on our Twitch, actually. The Facebook is good, but sometimes that can get lost in the craziness of Facebook, as it's pretty much just a swipe by kind of an environment. So to get notifications every time we go live, you head on over to Twitch TV/Zwift Community Live and hit the follow button over there, and it'll come right to your email. You can even put it right on your mobile device to get a push notification to mobile device whenever we go live there, and watch right on there. So lots of cool abilities with the Twitch website to interact with Zwift Community Live. All right, everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, congratulations to all of the riders out there today. Great effort to everybody. And as usual, ride on.